So this is my ZX14. It is a 2016 or 2016. Yeah, I just picked it up not too long ago, but yeah, this is actually my first bike in 5 years. So let's get on the bike so that I can explain this a little bit more. All right, so like I was trying to say, this is my first bike in 5 years. I had a really bad accident back in 2017 that put me in the hospital for a few months and I stopped riding, but now I am back. Now if you really want to know what my last few bikes were, first of all, just this killer look right here. But if you really want to know what my history with bikes is, it's not my first bike, obviously, because that's a lot of bike to be your first bike. My first bike was a 2008 Kawasaki ZX14r. My second bike was a 2005 CBR 1000. So it was my jump to the 1000s. My third bike was a 2009 ZX10 that had some motor work done to it. So this is by far not my first bike. I am experienced. Obviously, taking 5 years off comes with a lot of newness when you get back on. Immediately you kind of feel like a rookie, but it didn't take long at all for me to get control of this bike, feel confident on it, and for me to essentially just be back to where I was before. Now the thing about it is, no matter how good you are, you can't actually just jump right back on the saddle and think that you're gonna be however good you were when you left. At least that's not the case for me. But the thing about it is, this was always my dream bike. This was always a bike I looked at when I was younger, and I was just like, man, I really want one of these bikes. And for a lot of people, this bike doesn't make sense. Especially, you know, not having ridden for over 5 years, and then the first thing you do is jump back on a bike, and it's a ZX14. Now, if you don't know what a ZX14 is, which I'm pretty sure most people know what a ZX14 is, but if you don't know what a ZX14 is, it is a 1400cc super sport that is comfortable like a cruiser. It was made to combat Suzuki's Hayabusa, and ever since it came out, it was just known as like the big dog bike. Now this is, of course, all the way up until Kawasaki decided to start putting smaller bikes on their ZX10 frame, and also they came out with the H2, which honestly there is not a bike touching the H2. Now, obviously, let me say this again, it's not a stock bike touching the H2. That's kind of like a quick breakdown on the ZX14 if you didn't know. But yeah, man, it's a very fast bike, and it's very big, but a lot of people are confused. Oh, that guy was a rider. A lot of people are confused about the flickability and how like, it's heavy. It's a heavy bike, but people don't realize, although it's heavy, it's easy to ride. It's still a super sport. Or would this be considered like a hyper sport? Like, wait, do hyper? I don't know, man. It's still a super sport. So obviously the average person is not going to be dragging knee and doing things like that, but if you buy this bike, that's not what you intend to do with it anyway. So that's not even a problem, especially not for me. I need to stop and get gas, actually. especially not for me. Like I said, I've been in a bad accident, so dragging knee and doing all the super fast splitting in between cars, that's not really what I'm into anymore. All right, so where were we? Oh yeah, so I bought the big ZX14 because it was really my dream bike, and it was between an R1 and this bike. At the end of the day, I kind of feel like I should have picked the R1. Yamaha just announced that they're not even going to make the R1 anymore, so it's really got me kind of wishing I had the R1. But it is easy for me to say that it still was a good decision for me to get this bike, only because like you gotta hit your dreams, man, especially like your childhood dreams. And again, this was more like a young adult dream. It's not necessarily a childhood dream, because I was an adult. I mean, I was actually riding and I had motorcycles, but it just feels good to get this bike. And it feels good that not only do I have the exact motorcycle that I said was my dream, but I got things done to it that felt good to get done to it. Like, it's got the Brox exhaust that I always loved and that I spent so much time on YouTube hearing sound clips on. It's literally a perfect bike. I really can't complain. It's like I'm trying to convince myself, but it's a good bike, honestly. The thing about it is, I already know that I'm gonna end up trading in this bike, even though I just got it, for an R1 or a BMW S1000, only because I had 3 dream bikes, and at this point in my life, I feel like I want to get those bikes because I'm not gonna be riding very much longer. I'm just not gonna be doing it. It's dangerous out here. I'm not gonna be one of those guys who ride when they're 80 and all this stuff. I'm just not gonna be that guy. And while I have the chance, while I feel good, while I have the available money, and while the bikes are even available to get, I want to get my dream bikes, man. And it'd be nice if I could just have a garage full, but that's just not practical for me. I'm not gonna be able to have every bike at one time. So I got this bike. It was at a really good price, honestly, for what I was looking at it. Like, if it was either, like, for this price you could have gotten the brand new 600, but like it was a really good price, which is gonna allow me to be able to get the S1000 or the R1 without taking too much of a financial hit. I do have to say though, man, riding this bike has allowed me to be able to experience one of the things that very few riders get to experience, and that's like the look when you pull up at like a bike night or anything and you have a bike that a lot of people don't get. Like, R1s and BMW S1000s had their popularity, and a lot of people got them, man. A lot of people experienced them. They got to do what they wanted with them. But the ZX14, this is not a bike that a lot of people bought. Like, just like a Busa, man. It's just not one of those. This is not a bike you look around and you see all the time. Now, you see Busas a lot more frequently than you see these 14s, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Because to me, I mean, they're great bikes. I don't know, man. I can tell you one thing, though. If you are out there and you have a dream bike, the second you get the opportunity, you need to get it. You need to go pick up your dream bike, because reality, we're all not going to be young forever. And as many people like to say that they're going to ride it until they die and all this stuff, if you have a long life, you're going to get responsibilities, and you're going to get kids and a family, and you're just not going to be able to do the same things. It's just not going to happen. And that's where I'm at now. You know, I'm going to knock these things out while I still can, because I don't think I have very much longer to be doing things like this.